let's start with, tell me about the projects you're working on currently, and what steps are you taking to get your music heard and build your fan base?
So right now I'm currently pushing Hardly Ever Bother. It's a project that I actually have been sitting on for a really long time. I was like, I got to get this out the vault. So earlier this year, I just went for it, dropped it, and then I came up with a Hardly Ever Bother tour. But it's really an exposure tour to people, go to these cities, they get familiar with who I am, my music, my style, and everything like that. So I just got back from Detroit doing a performance run, and then next week I'm going to Atlanta to hit the radio. So originally from the Wild Hunters, Rose and West Pullman area. Left there about maybe 2001. We moved to Dalton. So spent most of my time there. But yeah, Wild Hunters to Sibley, it's pretty much what it is.
So tell me, what are the themes or messages do you aim to convey through your music?
The message I'm conveying is we don't have to over-sexualize ourselves just to be a female rapper. Like, I feel like we gotta kind of get away from the hypersexual content because everybody's not that. Me personally, I don't consider myself to be a hypersexual individual. So to try to ride that wave and come up with songs and stuff that's catered to that, it wouldn't be me being true to myself. So I want to kind of switch the narrative from the super sexual lyrics and the super sexual videos, all the half naked stuff, and show a different side of like womanhood, or female artistry, should I say.
So talk about some of the challenges you faced as you have tried to break into the music industry, and how have you overcome them so far?
So at first I felt like I was kind of just catering to Chicago because that's where I'm from, of course. And I seen it work for a lot of artists that was aspiring in Chicago. So I felt like, okay, I could do it too. But somewhere through the journey, I started feeling like I wasn't getting the same exposure as them. I wasn't getting the same help as them, even with collaborations, like reaching out to folks want to do a song, they'll give me a hard time with that, or we can't do a song with you for this reason, or you hang with them so we don't hang with them, or we don't rock with them so we can't do a song with them, or even with the pricing, knowing that we're independent artists so the budget is not that large, the overtaxing, the crazy expensive invoice and ticket prices just to try to get some work done really strayed me away. Almost had me about to not do music anymore because it's like, they always say if you can't make it in your city, you can't make it anywhere, and that is not a true statement. That is a myth. If you don't make it in your city, why stay there? Go try another city out because they just may rock with you and support you. And that's what I feel like I've been getting, going to Ohio, going to Michigan, going to Georgia, going to New York. The love and the support is way on a grander scale level than from my own city. So I'm not going to let them box me in.
Social media and online platforms play a significant role in today's music industry. How are you leveraging these tools to promote your music and connect with your audience and, build your audience?
I'm working that phone. So most people be on Instagram or TikTok or whatever case may be, and they posting pictures or they're just scrolling, looking at laughable content or whatever case may be. I'm on there working. I use Instagram and TikTok like they used to use the yellow pages back in the day. Like I'm on there looking for videographers, podcasts, different radio hosts, like people that I can work with that's open to collaborating. I use the internet to build In the Buildin, Think Dumps, Boy Take Out the Garbage Man, whatever my entities are, that's what I'm on the internet doing.
And so what sets your music apart from other emerging artists in the hip hop scene, most especially female rappers?
Because my whole life I have been trying to be different than most. Like I always try to do the opposite of what other people are doing. So if this was trendy at the moment, cool, we're gonna let it be trendy. I'm gonna take a different route and figure out what's not trendy to potentially make it trendy.
And how much of your story, how much of your personal life inspires your creativity? How do you approach songwriting, lyrics? How much of your own lived experience? I know you're a mom. Mm-hmm. How much of your experience as a mother do you channel into your art?
I really just let the rage inside me fuel me. So it's really like, how do I want to put it? I just go with the vibe. Like I listen to the song, I get a little bit of inspiration from it, and then I just go from there. As I'm going on at it, I build from there. Once I get the song completed, then I can get the vision for the video and go on from there. I kind of used to overtalk myself out of doing things, or talk myself out of doing something, because it's like, oh, I need this, I need that, we gotta wait till we order this, so I gotta get this amount of money to afford this equipment. And it's like, no, realistically, use what you have to get done, you know. And as you never know, using what you have to get done and pushing that out there will open the doors for more income to come in, a bigger budget, and, you know, keep going, keep growing as you go. But you have to start small. Everybody starts small. Amazon was in his garage before he got 1 million warehouses all across America. So
yeah, some people, all they have is their computer and their iPhone.
That's it.
And they make it work. And they make magic.
They do.
From nothing,
They do.
right? Have you had any memorable experiences or opportunities come your way as you've been working to establish yourself in the industry?
I had two, actually. In 2020, I was finally able to shoot my first major production video, and that was Combat. And I recorded the song, well, no, actually, I wrote the song like end of 2018. You know how you'll start writing something, then you'll lose the inspiration, you'll go back to it when you finally find the inspiration again. So it literally took me about a year to finish writing the song with the lyrics and everything like that. So once I wrote the song, I'm like, okay, bounced around, recorded it a couple times. It wasn't, what I was hearing wasn't fitting the vision that I had in my mind. Cause like I could hear it and see it in my mind, you know, so I'm conveying to them how to put it together, the engineers and people that was working on the project. Once I got the song completed and I went to New York to record it, I was able to get a vision in my mind of how I wanted that video to look. This is why patience is of the essence, because I wasn't dropping it until I was able to complete this vision. Fast forward November of 2020, the vision was complete. The cinema that we shot the video at, it had all the props, all the makeup that I needed to fulfill the look of the video. The song was top tier, even though I had to bounce around between a couple different engineers. I finally got it to sound how I envisioned it in my head. And that was the longest shoot so far that I've ever done. So it felt like, and even the guy at the cinema, he thought I was signed to a label. He was like, who are you signed to? And I'm like, I'm not signed to a label. Like, this is all independent work. And he was just like, the best words of encouragement I've ever gotten so far. He said, keep doing what you're doing, because you're moving like people who are signed to a label. So to me, that was one of the best experiences so far, independently, far as pushing my music. And the second best experience was, I had kind of sat out for a while, just, you know, life was life and trying to get my life together and acclimated in my new home and stuff like that. I went to New York after not doing anything with music for 2 years, and performed, and the engagement, the feedback just had me like, we got to get back to the music. So that really fueled me to get back to where I am now. So here we are.
What do you love about hip hop music?
Putting out that rage, showing them who NieceyinthaBuildin is. I feel like it's a great way for me to express who I am, the figments of my imagination, because, you know, I don't want to sit on it. It doesn't feel good to sit on it. So I feel like it's a great way for me to be expressionistic and just get that fire from inside of me.
So what has been the driving force behind this rage that you've mentioned twice now, that you got to put on wax? What's going on?
It's just a great way for me to express myself. Like I'm not one that gets complacent in routine. I get really bored with things fast. So
You're ambitious.
Yeah, very ambitious. So to push my music and express myself in my music and my creativity, it really fulfills a great portion of me. So
who do you think are the top 3 rappers doing it at the moment? Even if they're, you know, independent, if they're artists that you're following that the masses haven't heard of. Mm-hmm. You know, you could name someone as small as the next door neighbor or as big as Jay-Z. Who are your top 3 rappers that you think are really defining what it means to be a hip hop artist right now. Yeah.
Rappers, I would definitely have to say Rico Nasty. Rico Nasty
I love her.
inspired me so much because she bridged that gap from a certain aesthetic that female rappers had. That aesthetic is gone. You don't have to be the sexy bad girl. Like you can be a rock star. You can hop on the stage and mosh pit if that's what you want to do as a female. You know, that was just one's only men was able to do that, you know, or boy bands or whatever. No, the females can do it too. So Rico Nasty has definitely inspired me in a lot of ways. Baby Smooth has inspired me. He's a Detroit rapper. He has inspired me a lot because to see what he has done independently, and he strategically he makes it very known, he did not want to sign to a label. He wanted to do his own thing. So to see him get his songs and Netflix specials, the like major work that you would kind of need, they try to make you seem like you need a label to do this. To see him doing that, his own concerts, the way he's putting together his own concerts, booking these venues in all these different cities, it shows you don't need a label. You just need some patience. You can do it yourself though. So Baby Smooth has definitely inspired me a lot as well. And then NieceyinthaBuildin. I'm just loving to see her grow. So
what artists do you think are really pushing the boundaries and changing it up? Now, I know you just mentioned Rico Nasty, flipped the script on how female hip hop stars present themselves, but who do you think in the mainstream right now is really pushing boundaries, testing the envelope, and represents what it means to inspire the rappers and the lyricists and the MCs on their way up?
I have to say every single rapper that is pushing in Detroit right now. They came on the scene about 2000. Well, I know it was others, but I'm saying from my point of view, when I got on the Detroit music wave, they came out, they did their own thing, they bridged the gap. They weren't even on the map at the time because they didn't have a big artist that had blew up. I mean, Big Sean, but he's done his work, so he's like relaxing right now. But to see them come out here and change the whole sound in the rap game. One small city that everybody had forgot about, you got people in Atlanta rappers who once had their own sound are trying to sound like Detroit. You have people in New York that also had their own sound trying to sound like Detroit. And even in Chicago, there are some artists that have stolen that Detroit sound. So I love how they just came out raw, organic, and they have cultivated all of these other cities and influenced all these other cities to want to sound like them.
So speaking of Detroit, I'm trying to, as you were talking, I'm like, you said Big Sean, and you made me think of the female rapper who doesn't get as much love. Well, she doesn't get her shine like she should.
Cash Doll.
Cash Doll.
I love Cash Doll.
I love Cash Doll. I feel
Doll.
like she's successful,
She is.
but the mainstream is like sleeping on Cash Doll, and they have been for years, which I don't understand why.
I don't understand it why either, but I think Cash Doll is definitely on a greater level than what we may think. Because we outside looking in. She's not complaining about anything, but I do think that she should get a lot more love. Yeah,
yeah,
there's
absolutely.
a person like that in Chicago too, Shella H. And Shauna too. They were like empires in the game in Chicago, and even with Tink too. I don't know. It's just a thing with certain. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're not feeding a certain type of agenda, something like that. That could possibly be what it is, but they are definitely some individuals who should get more love and support than they do.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, Niecey. If you had the power to change one thing about the hip-hop industry to help independent artists, what would it be?
If I had the opportunity, I would give them more chances to be heard. I think we need to stop, especially when you are these major labels. The artists, the mainstream artists, they're good. They're already mainstream, so they're good. But I think if we would start focusing a little bit more on the smaller artists, especially the ones who you really see building, I think that would even help these major platforms a whole lot more themselves. Because you keep pushing the mainstream artists. Well, mainstream artists are everywhere you turn. You turn on the radio, they're there. You get online, they're there. But you don't get to see the aspiring artists as much as you should. And we put a lot of work in, so we want to see some feedback and some support and help along the way too.
As a rising talent, what are your goals and aspirations for your music career, not only now, but in the coming years?
I would like to do some work with some big fashion brands. And I would also like to start my own label so that I can really give independent artists, aspiring artists, the opportunity and the chance to be heard that they really deserve. You know, not the blood, sweat, and tears that they got to go through, climbing, swimming across oceans just to be heard. It's a lot of great talent out here. A lot of great talent.
Now, speaking of collaboration, obviously collaboration is often key to the music industry. Are there any artists or producers you dream of working with in the future?
Rico Nasty, Baby Smooth, Iceware, Vezo. It's so many. Oh my God, it's so many. So many people. I have a long list of folks that I would like to work with.
What advice would you give to other female artists who are looking to break into the hip hop scene?
Don't chase the narrative. Organically and authentically be yourself, because that is what's going to get you the exposure that you're looking for. Don't ride no one else's wave. And another thing that I want to say too, this is the best advice I can give. That whole, because they tell every artist this, it was told to me, don't listen to what nobody have to say. Don't take that advice. That is the worst advice, because some things that people will have to say to you might change the whole, course of what you're trying to do. It might be the most beneficial piece of advice that you can ever get. So that whole blocking your ear to anything that anyone has to say where your music is concerned, scratch that and learn to take criticism. I get it, but learn to take criticism, good or bad. Take it. I've always been a personable individual. Even if I don't want people in my face or to like me or to talk to me or any of that, they're gonna do it anyways. Like, it's some people are just those type of people where people just gravitate to you. And I am one of those people where people just gravitate, whether I want it or not. That's just what they do. So I'm not really, I'm worried about certain pressures, but people gravitating to me, even though I'm not doing the norm of what other female artists are doing, that's not the pressure that I'm worried about. I've been working since I was like 15 years old, and I'm a hard worker too. I have a great work ethic, but along the way, I was noticing with these companies and different careers that I've walked into, my work ethic is not appreciated. I don't think there's a company out there. It could be Kraft that makes the cheese for all I care. I don't think there's a company out there that is going to appreciate my work ethic. What I bring to the company, I don't think that it will ever be appreciated. So I got in my mind that I have no desire to retire from anyone's job, which put that fire in me and that pressure on me to keep pushing. So even in my times when I'm like, I want to give up, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overstimulated, I don't want to do it, I keep in mind, you don't want to retire from nobody's job. And also, I don't want to let the opportunity pass me by. Whether I make it or not, even if I do, even if I don't, I don't want later on in life to come about when I am in my later years where things have settled down and I'm sitting back like, I should have tried.
Yeah,
I should have gave it a chance.
You don't want to coulda, woulda, shoulda moment.
Yeah, I don't want to coulda, woulda, shoulda moment.
Exactly.
And that's if I make it or not. At least later on it'd be like, you did give it a try.
You did give it a try. Exactly. Where do you see Niecey in the Building in 10, 20 years?
Niecey in the Building in 10 to 20 years will be the CEO of her own record label. I want to do it differently. And I want to give aspiring artists the fair chance that they deserve.
How do you envision the future of females in the hip hop game?
Honestly, I feel like if we don't change the narrative now, it's going to go downhill. It's not going to end well. Not for female rappers specifically. Male rap is a whole different ball game. But if we don't change the, because I'm reading it. If they're tired of it now, they're tired of the lyrics. Even the men, it's the men who are saying that they tired of seeing us bending over, half naked. It's not gonna end well. So I think we need to change the narrative now, bridge that gap, and let's really start figuring out where are we really creative at. Everybody could bend over, everybody can dress half naked, but what do I really have to offer as an artist, as a female artist specifically?
Very good. Where can people follow you? You got social media?
Yes.
Drop your handle so folks can know where to follow you and keep up with what you're doing, what you got coming up for the rest of the year, You
can find me on Facebook and Instagram, NieceyinthaBuildin. Also YouTube too, NieceyinthaBuildin. And then I just recreated my Twitter account, X, I'm back on X as In the Buildin.
So is anything else you want to say, anything you want to add that you want to get out that I didn't ask?
No, because I'm not ready to do this new drop for this song.
Oh, you're not ready?
No teasers yet.
Okay, but you got something coming. You got something cooking.
I do have a whole summer worth of music for you guys.
Okay, and folks, you're just going to have to follow her on social media to get the tea.